The Memphis Grizzlies are supposed to be one of the up-and-coming teams in the NBA. I mean, they've climbed the loaded Western Conference rankings, ESPN keeps talking about them, and they have a young core group of guys who are stars in the league. The future looked bright for them, but it seems that as the weeks, months, and years go by, something went unchecked for them, and honestly, if we were to take a snapshot picture of them at the moment, it seems like they're spiraling out of control, and that's not an exaggeration at all. Ladies and gentlemen, things aren't looking good for Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies. Just before we start this video, I just wanted to let you all know that we listened to your advice and got some sheesh t-shirts. If you want to check them out, the link's down below. And without further ado, let's do this. So, I'm going to start this off with our man, Dillon Dynasty Brooks. He's arguably the most hated player in the league at the moment, and he's created a target on the back of the Grizzlies. I mean, last season in the playoffs, he almost ended Gary Payton's career, then he followed that up by almost injuring Steph. Then this season, he's playing dirty with Donovan Mitchell, playing dirty with Anthony Edwards, and heck, he's even getting into it with media personalities like Shannon Sharpe. Oh, and before I forget, he recently got heated with James Harden and Joel Embiid too. I think it's safe to say that as of today, Dillon Brooks has declared war with the entire NBA. And the thing is, this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to him. You know, if he was a legit superstar instead of just a slightly above average defender, he can maybe get away with some of the stuff he's been doing. Maybe. But look at this. I pulled him up on basketballreference.com and just looked at his numbers. I facepalmed myself almost immediately. I mean, 14 points a ball game on 39% shooting from the floor, 32% shooting from three-point range, and an effective field goal of 46% if I'm nice and decide to round up. Those are absolutely atrocious numbers, and the truth is, nobody in my fantasy basketball league picked him up from a numbers perspective. And yet, some of the stuff that comes out of his mouth is just crazy. Like, when I say crazy, I mean absolutely absurd. This dude makes Lance Stevenson appear normal. I mean, forget about the whole dynasty thing he was talking about last year. Did y'all hear what he recently said of the Warriors, and in specific, Draymond Green? If not, no worries. Let me quote what he said for y'all. "I don't like Draymond at all. I just don't like Golden State. I don't like anything to do with him. Draymond talks a lot, gets away with a lot too. His game is cool with Golden State, but if you put him anywhere else, you're not going to know who Draymond is." Sheesh, guys. If you're wondering what the context for this was, it was in a friendly interview with ESPN where he was asked about how he felt about the Warriors and Draymond. So, after hearing what he said about Draymond, I'm actually wondering who's the more efficient shooter between the two. And the crazy thing is, Green actually wins this battle. I mean, let me pull up Draymond's stats here really quick just to show you what I mean. 52% from the floor beats 39, 33% from three-point range beats 32, and I'll take an effective field goal of 57% over 46% any day of the week. Man, I don't know what spurred on Brooks to say stuff about Draymond, but if you're wondering how the Warriors star responded, here's what he had to say.
"Brooks should not have the confidence to talk like this. No playoff success, rings, or even an all-star appearance. Who gave that brother the confidence? Who? He's Matisse Thybulle with a green light, glorified role player, a trade asset. Don't talk on my name."
To be perfectly honest, I'm not sure if that was actually Draymond or if that was an AI voice made to simulate Draymond. But I'm pretty sure that's how Money Green actually feels, minus the Matisse Thybulle part. All in all here, Brooks putting a target on the back of the Grizzlies isn't really doing the team any favors. Anyway, moving on here, if we look throughout the history of the NBA, it's pretty clear that an organization only goes as far as their leader brings them, and as of the moment, their leader, Ja Morant, is suspended. Honestly, I don't know what Ja was thinking when he posted that Instagram story, which apparently showed a weapon. But it seems that his off-the-court antics are starting to cause a huge negative impact towards the Grizzlies' performances on the court. I mean, he may be a star in the league, but not even stars are protected after a certain line is crossed. Things of this nature is a huge reason why Gilbert Arenas' career was cut short, and the thing is, today's NBA is at least 10 times more sensitive than it was a decade ago. And if you can get a technical for taunting, imagine the type of heat you could get from what Ja just pulled off. I'd go as far to say that if he wasn't a superstar, then this might have cost him his career. Sheesh, guys, what the heck was he doing recently when he pulled off that stunt? Anyway, the crazy thing is, it's not just this incident either for Morant. A few months ago, there was the whole episode of lasers being pointed at Pacers staff. Then there was also that report of Ja Morant allegedly assaulting a 17-year-old at a pickup game over the summer. So, like I said, it seems that at this rate, his off-the-court issues could really cause some problems for an organization with deep playoff aspirations. And as the leader of the Memphis Grizzlies, this definitely doesn't look good for the team going forward. Then to compound even further onto this, one of their key role players, Brandon Clark, in a recent game against the Denver Nuggets, unfortunately tore his Achilles and will be out for the remainder of the season. That's huge. I mean, Clark wasn't a star or anything, but for 20 minutes a game, he would put up an efficient 10 points and do some dirty work on the glass. This is going to thin their bench out quite a bit, so I don't think Jared Jackson Jr. is going to tweet strength in numbers anytime soon again. And then to compound even further onto why things aren't looking good for the Grizzlies, the West got stronger. The West got stronger. Ja Morant has got to be worried now. I mean, Golden State is turning the corner and is looking like a true championship contender again. Kyrie now plays for the Mavericks, and they have their dynamic duo going. Durant now plays for the Suns, and according to odds makers, they're a huge favorite to come out of the West. If the Grizzlies were even at 100%, these matchups would be difficult and they'd probably still lose in a best of 7, but now that they're in a deep funk, things went from bad to bad. And speaking of bad, check this out. So before the All-Star break, the Grizzlies were top 10 when it came to scoring, but ever since the All-Star break, they dropped from 9th all the way to 21st. That's like falling off a cliff, for crying out loud. I mean, look at how the season is progressing for them. In the first 44 games of the season, they won 33 games, and they only had 11 losses, which is pretty dominant. But since then, in their next 19 games, they only have 7 wins and 12 losses. That's literally the record you have to have if you're trying to tank for Victor Wembanyama, for Pete's sake. At this current rate, it doesn't matter what seed they are in the playoffs, they're going to get swept in the first round. Then what's next after that? I mean, to be perfectly honest, if they swept in the first round, I see some huge changes coming their way this offseason. Their head coach will likely be gone. I'm guessing Dillon Brooks will be gone as well, and that's going to be really funny when players talk about dynasties and such. But yeah, things aren't looking good for Morant and the Grizzlies this season. What do you think? In the handful of games left for the regular season, do y'all think Memphis can turn things around? Or is this it? Let me know in the comments down below. Then after that, make sure you click this video right here.